Good people who have traveled from villages near and far, lend me your ears.
Hello? Hello? Anybody home?
What's up, Miss Tasty? What's up? What's up?
Hi there, nice to see you. Bumblebee tuna? Bumblebee tuna!
Hello, West Mantooth. Hello, Evening News Team.
You are now listening to another edition of Movie Review Crew.
Welcome to the goodie room.
But their ability to open is f***ing heroic.
And now, with your permission, I'm going to do my stuff.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to do the best I can.
All right, welcome everybody. This is another edition of the Movie Review Crew. I'm your host, Mike Lucas, and joining me is Matt McNeal.
Hello.
Aaron Cronican.
Hello.
And Shane Cronican.
How's it going?
Guys, we have an excellent episode on today's show. We're talking about
The Old Ways.
Oh.
I had
I know you didn't watch it, but you didn't even know the movie?
I had no idea what movie we were watching today.
It's on Netflix. Is this a Netflix original?
No.
Like a release specifically to Netflix?
I don't think so.
No, I believe it's one they just bought the rights to.
You know, you hear that a lot. People buying the rights to things, but how come like nobody's ever buying the lefts?
Oh my god, that's like that awful Twix PR campaign. Left versus right. Oh god.
Stop. Come on. That was gold and you know it.
Yeah. No.
But seriously, I feel like nowadays you hear about that a lot more. The movies being the rights to movies and TV shows being bought or syndicated more.
Well,
everybody wants the distribution rights.
Yeah, it used to be they just sold it to the theaters, or and now it's
well, and you know what's
digital.
becoming more common is that nobody's getting exclusive rights. It's going to every single platform so that the studios can make more money off of it. Like Disney just released Jungle Cruise to more video on demand platforms to boost its earnings.
Well, but that's different.
Nobody's gonna watch
because
that
that's to rent.
Well, true.
These are basically, I mean, we've said it before. They're not free. You have to pay the subscription, but they're free if you have the subscription. When it's to rent, they just give it, like you said, they give it to everybody, so they can make more money off the rental.
Yeah, but then when you watch movies like The Old Ways, you want your subscription fee back.
There's that.
Oh, okay. It wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't. It was not that bad. It was bad. It was bad.
A spoiler alert, we may not have loved this one.
Yeah.
Was this a shot in the dark, Matt? Like,
Yep.
You had never seen it?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, okay, yeah, let's give Matt credit. It's not like you picked this and like, you guys are going to love this. This was
Right.
a legitimate, let's try something new. I haven't heard of this. I saw it on Netflix type of thing.
Well, okay, but the movie on Rotten Tomatoes.
He picked it because he saw it on Netflix. He's not going to go research and to back up his decision. But
The movie on Rotten Tomatoes gets a 96% from critics.
I know.
Oh,
I
That's part of the reason why I picked it.
Yeah.
that
nutty.
blows my mind.
We can talk about all this in the second half of our show. Because as I alluded to earlier, I didn't watch this episode, or watch this movie for this episode, but I am very invested in hearing your guys' thoughts because it's not often we get 90+% that tank.
And it's not all bad. We'll get to it, but
Right.
obviously the scores are going to be low, but there were redeeming qualities to it.
Yeah.
what is there not a user score, whatever? Not user.
It's 42%.
Audience.
It's 42%.
Okay.
But yes. I don't know. I think we tend to line more with critics.
I
say about
definitely feel that I do.
You do
because
for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you're a snob and you love
No,
it.
because no.
The word I wanted to say started with a C.
Listen,
Criminal.
A criminal.
I'm talking specifically about first of all, people don't know how to read Rotten Tomatoes properly. They're like, oh, 88%, it's amazing. Yeah, 88% of them, but its overall score is a 6.5. Like, come on, slow your roll.
88% thought it was at least, it's all right.
No, I thought it was 88% would have been like, yeah, that's a good movie.
Well,
I mean, in order to be fresh, it has to get like an above average.
Right.
It's not certified fresh, but it is positive.
Well, fresh is just enough of the reviews are above a certain threshold. It doesn't even have like certified fresh is enough of them are above a certain threshold, and the average score is way high. It's actually a good movie.
Yeah,
but anyway, I don't know. You got things like Fast 9 that get in the 90s from the audience. Of course, I think they're idiots.
People know what that movie is. That's why it gets a high score.
Because the audience, it's made for a certain audience, and they loved it.
Right.
And that certain audience is the lowest common denominator.
It's me. Yeah. No, that's what I meant. The lowest common denominator.
It's a bunch of bras in their tank tops.
You guys just hate those movies. Irrational hatred for those movies. Not irrational. Take it back. You're not wrong. Rational. They're trash.
Yeah.
But
they're fun.
That doesn't mean they can't be enjoyed.
Thank you. Yes, that's exactly what I've been fighting for, just like 21 Jump Street.
No.
I'm with you all the way. I think that's an underrated, not underrated.
No, so you said it. You said it.
Underappreciated because I do think it's smarter than it. Aaron calls it a dumb comedy. I think it's pretty clever and its writing is pretty damn good.
And 85% of the world's population agrees with that.
Listen, it's no Tenacious D in the Pick of Destiny. Okay.
Okay. Well, speaking of other movies coming out, is it Shang-Chi?
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. That came out to theaters, guys. That is sitting at 92% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm not gonna watch it.
And I've heard that is.
I mean, I will eventually, but I'm not going to the theaters or anything.
Yeah, I don't think I will either.
Unless Marvel has drastically deviated from their formula, I don't care.
Well,
and this was a good chance too. I mean, this is a opportunity instead of to do their bombastic CG fest. This was their chance to do a more grounded. Like a Marvel's homage to martial arts movies is what this could have and should have been. But and I haven't seen it, but I've seen trailers, I've watched videos, I've watched and read and seen reviews.
Well, right, don't pass judgment.
But I'm not passing judgment on the quality of the movie, but from everything I've heard, read, seen, it's not that. It still is. You know, it does have some martial arts, but it still has the silly jokes. We knew that was going to be the case with Aquafina. Ugh. It has CGI monsters everywhere. Apparently, CGI fights, which, you know, it's Marvel. I'm not hating. But I was hoping at least that this would be a bigger deviation from their norm, and apparently it's not. Which it is what it is. It's fine, but lost opportunity in my opinion.
Yeah. Speaking of movies coming out, anything really exciting, you guys, that is up and coming? Because when all my friends started talking about Shang-Chi, I was like, I haven't even heard of this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of it.
I should have.
No excitement.
Dune.
Halloween.
I guess.
Dune.
I don't care about Dune, but the only
Stop.
like I eventually will go see Candyman and Malignant.
Yes.
But as far as movies that haven't come out yet, the only thing that I'm excited for is Halloween and Antlers.
Oh, yes.
Antlers we've been waiting for how long? Golly.
I hope No Time to Die, the new Bond movie.
Yeah.
All right.
The Kingsman is so much better.
What?
Well, when we were talking about like British spy movies.
Yeah.
What did you? I didn't hear what you said. I wasn't questioning.
The Kingsman is so much better.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, but yeah.
Bond has dropped. Like Bond is below the Kingsman franchise. It's below the Mission Impossible franchise.
And that's hard to do.
The Paul Blart Mall Cop franchise.
Okay. All right. Maybe Quantum of Solace.
Is he wrong?
Yes, he's wrong.
It is definitely difficult to be worse than Mission Impossible.
Whoa.
That's all right. We're not getting into that.
Yeah, we don't have enough time. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, what have you seen?
Yeah, Aaron, let's start with you. What have you seen lately?
I rewatched The Princess Bride, which is a movie that you cannot help but love. I've seen it a billion, gajillion, zillion times, and it really makes me happy. Like, that's all there is to it. We argued about whether it deserved I think it got a 9.94 average from us. And there was
who didn't give it a 10.
call me dumb Mike because he's stupid.
I hate him.
It may not be a perfect movie, but it's a perfect movie, is what I'm saying.
You know who didn't give it a 10?
Was it me?
Probably me. Would I give it a 9.5?
Dumbass.
Whatever.
You want to take this opportunity to amend that, Aaron?
I probably should. It is absolutely a timeless classic, and no matter how many times I watch it.
So what we're saying is it is a 10 because you have now given it a 10?
Yeah, we'll go with that. Whatever.
I'm not changing that.
Let the record show.
I'm not changing that.
Anyways, I also watched Willow, which I thought I had fond memories of. Because after I finished Princess Bride, they were like, "Hey, watch Willow," and I was like, "You know what? You're right. I will." And maybe it's just because I followed it right after Princess Bride, but it's just not that great, and I don't know. I give it about a 6.5. It's never something I probably am going to rewatch again.
To be fair, it's really hard to follow up the Princess Bride.
Just true. But then I also watched In Bruges, which is another movie I think I unfairly lowballed because that movie's so good, and
the writing is brilliant.
Didn't you give it like an 8.5 or something?
I think
but it deserves a 10. Or at least 9.5, 10.
I thought maybe I gave it in the 7s. But anyways, and there are some parts that don't work perfectly, but the writing and directing and the mix of just absolute comedy gold with a legitimately moving story is fantastic. So I can't remember. I think we gave that. What was our overall
7.95? So we gave a B.
Okay, so that's about right. About right at an 8. I'd say that's probably fair. But I mean, it's one I absolutely love. But
yeah.
Also, I didn't tell you. I also had to rewatch the Paw Patrol movie for about the 5th time since it was released. So
what is that? 12?
10 out of 10.
Yeah,
easy. Yeah, easy 10 out of 10. Look, if my kid loves it that much, he wants to keep
blame
watching
it on the kid. Yeah.
10 out of 10.
We all know it's Amber pulling the strings.
No, it's just I love that new dog Liberty so much. I want to keep watching it over and over.
I'm envious of a lot of people for a lot of things. This is not one of them.
No, I can't wait till he's old enough that I can introduce him to real movies.
I mean, like
that sounds condescending, but
here's a good romantic movie called Cold Mountain.
Now that you're 5, you're old enough to know of this movie.
Please don't
Alien.
do that to your kid.
And Leland says, "Father, I'm moving out."
With everyone's favorite actor, Charlie Hunnam.
I'm gonna go live with Uncle Shane.
Oh,
yeah, and then I'll show him Die Hard when he's like 6. And
I want to watch directed VHS action movies.
At least until he's like through high school, he'll appreciate that.
And then when Shane kicks him out after 6-year-old Leland says, "This Bruce Willis guy sucks, huh?"
Man, this Dolph Lundgren can't act. Get out!
Oh my God!
Yeah, that's what I've seen.
That's the sad truth to all of that, though, because Dolph Lundgren cannot.
Well, all right, yeah.
Isn't he like a nuclear physicist?
Hey, dude, he's got like so many. He's a genius,
right? Like, and
he's huge. So
there's that, yeah. Matt, what about you? What have you seen lately?
I rewatched Beetlejuice on Hulu, which does not hold up. it doesn't.
Really?
In what way?
My young, because I haven't rewatched Beetlejuice since I was like a preteen. It's been forever and a day since I've watched it, and my smooth child brain thought that Michael Keaton was in the movie way more than he actually is. Like Beetlejuice is barely in it, and it's his movie, and just like the acting is not great. Like the movie, just like I still like the movie. It's still like a wonderful little bit of nostalgia, but it really did not stand the test of time. I mean, I'd still give it like a 6, but it's not as good as I remember.
Interesting.
Yeah, I might be in the same boat as you because I remember it fondly and but like you said, if it hasn't, I haven't seen it since it's been years, so who knows how I'd feel about it now.
I know how I feel about Gina Davis, though. I love her.
Oh, okay. Now,
I know how
what
I feel about Alec Baldwin.
I do love Alec Baldwin.
Yes,
he's probably one of my favorite actors.
Winona Ryder.
She was so good in that first season of that dumb alien show.
Ew.
Stranger Things.
Oh my God.
She was awful. She made me stop watching that show halfway through the first season.
You should really finish it. It's a really good show.
I never will. Stop.
It's a really good show. It's a really good show.
After the second season.
It's a really good show. It's a really good show.
Is Winona Ryder out of it after first season? Because
she's not in it as much.
Yeah, she's less. She's still in it.
Okay, so then no, I refuse.
Okay. But okay, I have one more thing that might like turn the tables on how you feel about it. It's a really good show.
So that
So
contradicts the part where Winona Ryder's in it.
I mean, it's still better than Game of Thrones, but
and I mean,
yep, I said it.
I mean, I don't think they're apples. We can't compare them. It's okay. Shane, what have you seen or Matt? Who was going? Matt, do you have more?
Matt, Beetlejuice.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much the only thing I've watched recently, other than the old ways. I do want to. I do kind of want to go back and rewatch some movies that I had an unyielding hatred for, just to see if I still have an unyielding hatred for them.
Which movies?
Winona Ryder's filmography?
No, like chief among them. I want to rewatch Prometheus because
don't do it. Don't do it.
No, hear me out. Because I had the same reaction as you initially. I was like, why do I want to rewatch that? But I think the ideas that are presented in Prometheus are interesting enough that I should rewatch it and give it like if I can look past how just dreadfully awful the acting and the overall storytelling is and kind of just focus on like the
are
themes
any
and
of
ideas
those
of the
themes
movie
and the questions that are raised, from what I hear, they're not even answered in the next one anyways. So what's
Alien Covenant is hot garbage. That's not up for
if you thought Prometheus was bad, I dare you to watch Covenant. Oh my God.
No, don't do that. But I do want to give Prometheus another rewatch.
Here's the thing. I'll watch Prometheus before the next episode if you do, and we'll give our thoughts.
Sure. Okay.
Maybe you're right, but all I distinctly remember, maybe I'm upset because I freaking purchased that movie on Blu-ray, thinking, you know what, it can't be that bad, and it was.
But yeah, I want to give it a fair shake on a second watch through just to see if it's as bad as my initial reaction thinks it is. But
maybe it's because I was so excited about. I mean, the cast for Prometheus and the fact that Ridley Scott came back. Maybe it was just that I felt so let down by it that I hated it.
Nope, because I fell into that trap and I've rewatched it since it came out. And
we'll
good
see.
luck to you, Matt.
We'll see. I'm gonna watch it before we record next, and we'll see.
Well, all right, I can't wait.
Did I also mention how much I love Noomi Rapace?
Yeah, she's good. She's very good.
Such a good actress, and she's just fantastic in everything, even if it's hot garbage like Prometheus probably is.
Yeah.
Moving on, Shane, what about you?
I watched Malignant, James Wan's new movie, and I think I told you guys so I went into this blind as far as didn't watch any trailers, didn't read what it was about even. It's James Wan's new movie, so I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, the only thing I knew about it was a quote that he said, where it's not like a haunted house, spooky type of movie. It's more of a throwback homage to the 80s, 90s horror thriller action type movies. And it is that. And I really, really enjoyed it. And there's a caveat to that because I think a lot of people wouldn't. If you can get past the silly and entirely predictable premise or reveals or whatever, I don't want to spoil it because it's brand new, but it's silly. It's even I will admit it's stupid. But if you can buy in, whoa, excuse me.
You want to say that again?
I think he about said James Bond.
James Bond. James Wan's filming is amazing, like usual. The visuals, the action is incredible. I loved it. It's completely bonkers. But if you can get past that and just buy in, I think it's an 8 out of 10. It's in the B+ range. So I thought it was a blast. I can see Matt enjoying it because it's it's a throwback type of just very gory action horror, and it's fun. It's a blast. It's even when it's very stupid, it's a blast. Aaron, I think, will hate it. He'll appreciate Juan's filming and his abilities, but will hate the movie. But I think you should see it. I would definitely recommend it. It's.
Well, I mean, the story has to be great. Screenplay by the same woman that did The Nun, so 2 thumbs up there.
Well, and it's like I said, it's pretty. So it's more of a like an investigative horror action thriller type of deal where there's a mystery at the center of it all, but it's fairly easy, especially for somebody that's watched thousands of movies, all the horror movies. We can see what's coming. It's relatively predictable, so it's not shocking when it happens. The only unpredictability comes from I know where you're going, but are you going there? Because that's some silly shit. But it works if you can buy into it. That if you can't buy into it, you're gonna hate this movie. But I thought it was.
I've only seen 2 of James Wan's movies.
Being
Conjuring 2?
Not even. Saw and Insidious.
You've never seen The Conjuring?
Wait, weren't you on that episode?
I was not.
What the hell?
I was not on that episode.
That doesn't mean you can't have seen what I consider one of the greatest horror movies ever made.
Better than The Nun?
Well, no, one of. So Nun number 1.
What about that movie with the little girl that's actually an old lady?
The Orphan.
The Orphan? What about The Orphan? That's got to be number 1, right?
Oh, I forgot the movie existed and now I want to puke.
Aaron, please watch please watch The Conjuring.
Do you know what? Okay, no. It is on my list. There are movies that I'm ashamed, and maybe we can catch up during this Halloween season. I have not even seen His House yet, which has been on my list to watch.
That movie's so good.
So the guy who complains about no horror movies are good doesn't watch the good ones.
I have no. I have openly admitted that horror movies in the past, let's say 5-6 years, are the ones that take themselves serious and aren't just like schlock for ticket sales, have been pretty great. Well, starting number 1 with Hereditary, and
then watch The Conjuring. That is legitimately. I think it's at
Conjuring's number 15 on our list.
Yeah, I mean it's probably one of the top 5 haunted house movies ever made.
I'll do my homework. I'll watch it with Leland.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart. But yeah. Oh God. Anyway, I can't believe that just happened. Shane, anything else?
No, just that.
Okay. As for me, this is just a little brief thing. I haven't had time to watch anything, but I did watch one episode of Explained, the Netflix docu-series. You guys ever seen that?
Nope.
Nope.
I don't know. What? Maybe.
It's like a 20 to 25 minute episode usually, and it covers a whole vast variety of subjects. They had one on the pandemic, like pre-pandemic, which was pretty interesting. They had one about like the 1918 one. And then
Mike, you watched the episode about sex, didn't you?
Of course.
Yep.
You sicko.
No, I watched the episode about the royal families all
That's
around.
Worse.
No, it was interesting because they were talking about like in the
just
19
watch Downton Abbey. It's the same
it's
thing.
obviously historical facts.
Downtown Abbey is
Downtown
Downtown Abbey.
That's about a hooker. That's a different show.
I mean,
very different subject.
They're not royalty, but it's like posh British people. Same thing.
No. But this one specifically talked about how like the 1900s, Britain was going through a lot of changes and how the like empire was coming to a point where they were like, well, we don't really have any power because all the power is with the people, and so they went from being like a head of state, but they were non-biased, and it's very interesting. There's super high quality docuseries.
There are so many good topics, and that's what you picked.
It was just like the first or the second one of the season or whatever. I think the first one was candy, maybe, or sugar. I don't know.
You didn't watch the candy one?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't. I eat a lot of it.
Mike's like, dude, I already know about candy, bro.
And I don't want it to ruin it for me.
There's one about esports.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like one of the best docuseries I have ever seen, and I've watched a few of them now.
Tattoos, the history of tattoos.
It's worth it. It's worth it. It's on Netflix. It's called Explain.
If you want a better documentary series, go watch The History of Swear Words, hosted by Nick Cage.
That sounds not real.
No, it might not be called that. I think it is.
God.
But it's on Netflix and it's legitimately hosted by Nick Cage.
Yeah, Brent brought that up one time on our podcast.
Up,
yeah,
he starts it by just yelling the F-bomb.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that. It is so. It's my 2-year anniversary with my girlfriend today. Any movies you recommend we should watch? And I'll pitch all of these to her.
Dirty Dancing.
The Princess Bride. Has she seen The Princess Bride? Because that is an absolute perfect way to spend your anniversary.
True.
I can't.
Why?
What was? Yeah.
He just said can't.
I can't even right now. I can't
because it's not that good. It's not that good, and it hurts to tell you guys that because you love it so much. It's overrated,
I'm
and
going
nostalgia hits you hard.
Oh God. Okay.
This
Dirty
is Mike's
Dancing,
last show.
the greatest
fine.
romance movie ever made. Dirty Dancing.
Oh,
didn't we watch?
What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, and then that face.
because Princess Bride is like Dirty Dancing but good.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, they
Bride
weren't
have Patrick Swayze.
Yes.
It's got better. It's got Andre the Giant.
Fair.
Anyway, any other suggestions? It doesn't even have to be a romance movie. Like any movie that you think could be good. I'm thinking Spider-Man.
Which one?
The second one.
Does it matter? That answer's terrible regardless.
Jake Gyllenhaal's in it.
Oh, the new.
Bless. He meant the new second one.
Yeah.
My word. Oh my God in heaven.
I mean, everybody knows the second one is Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire, and that's
all right.
best
All
one.
right. All right. Let's.
He
move
said
on.
the second one.
Let's move on into the old ways. I'm done with this. Let's move on. All right. The Old Ways from 2020. It's rated R, hour and 30-minute long film. Christina, a journalist of Mexican origin, travels to her ancestral home in Veracruz to investigate a story of sorcery and healing. There, she is kidnapped by a group of locals who claim she's the devil incarnate. Directed by Christopher Allender, written by Marcos Gabriel, starring Brigitte Cali Canales, Andrea Cortez, Julia Vera, Sal Lopez. I mean,
No, it's a very small cast.
Okay. The movie on
also, can we talk about that summary? Because
that's
at no point did I ever hear that she was the devil incarnated.
Yeah.
I think they were just saying she was possessed by demons.
Well, I mean,
I think they would have made a bigger fuss about it if it was specifically the devil.
True.
That's fair. The Old Ways on Rotten Tomatoes gets a 96% from critics with a score of 7.2 out of 10.
Boy.
Still a high score.
Yeah.
Audience score, however, 42% with a 2.9 out of 5.
Whoa!
2.9 out of 5. So it's
out of 5. Okay, that makes. I forgot they do the audience out of 5. I was
stupid
like,
ass reasoning.
Bless.
I want to read some of these positive reviews, if we can.
If you can read.
1 second. If I could figure out how to go to the page. All right, some of the positive reviews summaries. Just know that things get intense, family bonds get stretched, and ancient magics are going to ancient magic.
Yeah, first of all, I read that review, and I hate when people use non-verbs as verbs. That's just me. It's a pet peeve.
Yes.
And second of all the reviews, because I saw that number and I had to read.
Yeah,
I had to, and they all talk about the culture,
rising depth,
the family, and the depth, and I'm like, what? There's no. All right, we'll get into it, but I vehemently disagree.
Take it away, because like I said, I didn't watch this movie. Matt picked it.
Well, let's go with Matt. We already went into why you picked it, but first impression since you picked it.
There are certain elements of the movie that I wish they had explored more, and the movie kind of jumps the shark in the last 10 minutes, but
big time.
It was like, I thought it was okay until it jumps the shark, and then I'm like, what is even happening right now? But like so basically, and Aaron kind of said this in our group chat, he called it the Mexorcist, which isn't too far off. I like how in this they go more into like the rituals and like how all this stuff works than they do in the Exorcist. Like in the Exorcist, it's more the spectacle, and in the Old Ways they kind of go more into like the actual rituals of stuff, which I thought was cool. But to what Shane, and Shane is going to touch on this a lot more than I am, because he actually read the reviews. I didn't read the reviews. The family drama stuff is like barely even there.
Yeah, and it's awful.
even so that aside, yes, a lot of it mentions the depth of the. They mention a few things, and I disagree with all of them, and I'll go down the list. So the family issues and dynamics and all of that. It's barely touched upon, so I'm not giving it credit for that. The other thing is the cultural things. Now we get a bit of that with the what do I want to say? The procedures, the things that they do in the process of trying to exorcise her demons, but we don't get. I would have liked a deeper dive into the culture and the beliefs, a deeper dive into the old ways. We saw some of it, but what did you come away knowing about the old ways? Nothing. I wish they would have a deeper dive into the demons and into the rituals and into any of it, but it wasn't there, so it gets no points for me on that. And then the other one, what was the other one? Well, I'll think of that one and get back to it. But it talks about all these things that it did great, and I just it didn't to me. It didn't have the depth of characters. It didn't have the depth of the culture that it talks about. And the other thing it always talks.
And if they did,
go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying if they had tried to explore the family stuff more, in my opinion, these actors aren't nearly good enough to even bother, because our lead was
terrible.
Bad,
and I hate to say that. I don't want to pile on, but one thing it did for me that was a positive is it gave me an appreciation for even serviceable scream queens. To be able to pull off the reactions to the horrors going on around you, she was incapable of even that basic job. Her reactions, her screams, her reactions, when they're like the old lady's digging her hand into her gut, and she's like, ah. That's the extent of like what
the
is
old lady
happening.
was the best part about the whole movie.
It was awful. So at the very least, it gave me appreciation for scream queens and people that are known for doing horror and doing it well. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a talent.
So to kind of break down what this movie's about. So our main character is a journalist. She goes to this like forbidden place in Mexico that it's rumored to be like haunted or whatever, and people don't go there, and everybody warns her, stay away, stay away, stay away. And you find out later that she basically is going there to commit suicide. And she has like a heroin addiction that they don't really explore. And
she's like the cleanest, most non-addicted heroin addict in the history of heroin addicts.
Right.
Even when she's out of heroin, it's just like, oh, no withdrawals. You're just better.
Well,
right. And what I thought. Oh, sorry,
man. So that was the third thing that the critics talked about is how great it was that the demons were attached to and metaphors for her inner demons. It's like, oh, okay.
Except that they weren't.
First damn time
they were actual
done that.
demons.
Yeah,
right.
They were literal demons. Not...
Well, yes, but they were also, she had her inner demons. But this isn't the first horror movie to do that, and it
right.
sure as hell is not the best one. So,
and what I thought the movie was going to do, because they show like they bring in the heroin addiction fairly early on.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, so it's not actually a demon possession movie. They're just going to go through like really old school rehab and try and get rid of that.
Yeah, like an ancient intervention ritual.
Right.
Well, and that ties into the fact
I thought that's
like a lot of the old ways in a lot of cultures is demons were a way to explain medical things that they didn't understand, whether it's addiction or psychosis or different mental health issues that they just didn't know what. So I thought it was going down that same road is okay, that's the old ways, that's how they explain things, and they have their rituals and ways to address it, but it didn't.
But nope, it's actual demons.
right and she also wrestled with her inner demons, but I don't think the writing and, as we've pointed out already, the acting were strong enough to carry either aspect.
No. Like
or the directing.
I actually didn't think the directing was awful.
Sometimes it was serviceable, but they did like that awful late 90s, 2000s thing where they did these like flashing whoosh, 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 these images. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Stop this.
They zoom in. And then, do a lot of quick cuts. So we just get glimpses. And as Aaron said, it's basically just a montage of images, which can work. Obviously, imagery is a big part of horror movies. But I agree with Aaron that it just created this. It felt super, like he said, 90s, early 2000s, where it's just shake the camera to create chaos. And those sections didn't work, but there were times where it did work.
And even what I'm talking about more. Okay, so you've got that, what I already mentioned, but then even the fact that techniques to hide the low budgetness of this thing, okay, good for you for trying to show things, but when she's pulling that snake thing out of her, like you can see her holding a ball of something on the side of her body and pulling it out of her hand, or I mean, just things like that where it's like, film this in a way that it's believable now, and not
on that same token. This is very clearly low budget, so
oh yeah,
they deserve some credit for being able to pull off what they did, and a feature-length movie that despite its shortcomings was still watchable. It wasn't a dreadful experience, and it was at least mostly interesting, or at least held my attention, I guess is a better way to put it, for the hour and a half. I wasn't looking at my watch, or I didn't like it, but I wasn't looking for the exit sign, so I guess give them credit for that. For they did accomplish decent things on a very obviously low budget, and it looked good.
Right.
The production values were very good. It looked slick for a movie of this budget size.
I thought we were in for a bit of a treat, because I like I liked the setting and I liked where I thought it was heading, but immediately I was a little off put by the lead actress because it's almost immediately apparent where it's like, oh, she's not capable of taking this where it needs to go. But the setting in this, kind of jungle forested area confined to this one room, and kind of the spooky old lady painted face, and it sets the mood the way it tries to, but again, I don't think it was handled well enough. Like we mentioned, the drug addiction thing is just shown as a potential place to go for the plot, but then it's just immediately dismissed.
Yeah, it had good ideas with poor execution.
Yep.
And then we get to the point where
woof,
the last 10 minutes just go completely off the rails. So the old lady manages to exorcise the demon out of our main character,
or so we think,
and then you think it goes exactly where you think it's going to go. So instead of the movie just like kind of being over and we go to the resolution, the demon then goes into the main character's cousin, and it's up to the main character who then
suddenly is like ancient demon fighter John Constantine of Mexico.
And this has
honestly
this has the Casino Royale problem where there's about 4 different endings.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, let's wrap this up. You have 3 times already. Why are we still going? What and one of the other things that this movie's been, I don't know if it's been praised for, but one of the themes, I guess, or the issues along with the addiction and things like that is the cultural identity. And I've seen some reviews praise it for that, and her new ways, and she moved to Los Angeles, I believe, and it's her new life contrasting with her identity from her home where she was born, but it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't say anything about that, and her arc, if you want to call it an arc, is like Aaron said. It's just a shift. She's like, you know what? Los Angeles can frig off. I'm painting my face and fighting demons now. Like, what? She just that's what happened. That was her arc.
And then it's
her line was, and I quote, "I'm a mother effing bruja."
Yes! And honestly, and then she comes out with her painted face like she's some sort of badass demon fighter, and I'm like, okay, you read one picture book of demons and you're an expert now?
Thank you.
No. She made a point. She made a point at the very, very end to say that they're not good at it, but they're getting better.
Yeah, but
she should have been like, you know what? F it, I'm out.
Her cousin was that was the part that threw me too, because her cousin was like, well, you've read the books, you have all the knowledge. I'm like, I read the books because I just saw them. They have 3 words on them. They had a dude hanging upside down and then 3 words by his feet. I read it. What do you mean? She has all this knowledge now. She didn't. No, she doesn't. Going back to the I'm an MF and Bruja. If this movie had just the balls to be that the whole way through, where it's just like demon fighting one-liners absurdity, I'm on board, man. But no, it tried to be serious, and I don't think it worked.
No, because it literally did turn into John Constantine of Mexico. It was so dumb. She's like wrestling this demon.
And I could have appreciated it if that was the movie. But to come out of left field with that was...
Well, and see, I appreciate what the movie was at least trying to do up to that point, right? So it's like Aaron and I are on opposite ends of the spectrum there, because I can appreciate a good, like, slow burn exorcism movie, especially when you're, it's not a typical... your Catholic, it's Beelzebub and this little girl and blah.
Right. Yeah.
So like going into like the folklore of other cultures and actually taking its time to like explain things, if they would have done that more.
Yes.
That's what I wanted.
I would have loved that. Now it still would have had the shortcomings of, like we've said, I don't think the actor was capable of shouldering this movie, and that's not a knock on her. It just is.
No, the entire strength of this movie is held up by that little old woman.
And the man, her
The
son,
man
the
was
old
good
lady's
too.
son.
Yeah. Those two.
The cousin wasn't bad either, but she also didn't have a whole lot to do.
Yeah.
The heavy lifting was the main actress, and unfortunately,
yeah, she's not great. I don't think she's been in anything else either. So
not that I've seen. But I don't know.
I just feel like they didn't know where to go, because you have this what should have been and could have been a very good emotional story and character arc of this suicidal woman back to her birthplace or country of origin, whatever you want to call it, and to go through all of this. I don't know, I just don't like it. Either has to be metaphorical and some sort of character arc and transformation that we're along the ride for, or don't just half-ass the family stuff and do a demon movie. Just make a demon movie,
right?
It's like you can't try for both and fail at both. Just stick to your lane in one of them.
It's the same thing with the drug addiction. It ultimately went nowhere. There was no resolution to it other than she decided she was a bruja and I guess is clean now. And so there was no.
Yeah, she threw her kit in the trash and that was the end of it.
Right. There was at least in my opinion they addressed obviously the supernatural demons. There was no solution to her inner demons, whether it's the identity crisis, whether it's the family drama, whether it's the drug addiction. Those were brought up but not addressed or solved in any way. So like Aaron said, it's almost multiple ideas, all of which could be good, but they half-assed all of them, so it resulted in kind of just a jumble.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to describe it. Like it's a lot of promising ideas that just don't go anywhere,
and some and scenes that worked individually, but when taken in context of the movie and the narrative as a whole, I don't know. Not as well.
There were some good to go towards some positives. The actual physical demons were pretty believably good. Like they didn't look like some cheapy dude in a costume. It looked like they were pretty well designed demon people.
True.
And some of the gore was the gore was appropriately it was real gore, I guess. And neat gore, the what was it, a rooster chicken being turned inside out or whatever the hell happened to it. That was cool. I mean, there were
a couple of good shots.
There
like
were moments.
When the there's that like rat or whatever, and he's scurried along the floor, and then like the demon hand comes out of the shadows and smashes it, and then it cuts and it's her hands. Like that was cool. Like there was
but there was, and I don't know if this is attributed to the actors, the director, whoever, maybe all. It didn't. There was not, at least to me, there was not a sense of dread or a sense of tension at any point in this movie.
Yeah.
Even the scenes that are supposed to be where is there something in the corner and it's zooming in and zooming in and it's dark and maybe I don't know what it was, but there was just no tension in this movie to me. And maybe a lot of it is her reaction, because even that scene you talked about with the rat, great scene, but then her reaction to it, it's like, what, really? This is that took. I mean, I'm invested, and then immediately I'm pulled out because.
Yep.
I think that was maybe the biggest part. I mean, aside from that last 15, 20 minutes, that was just a complete. Oh my word, I could not. If you had given me 100 guesses to where this movie was headed halfway through it, that's not one of my guesses. So, but aside from that, the biggest fault is that this is a movie contained to one small area with 4 actors involved. Your main one better be good enough to carry it.
Man. Right. Yeah. Like this ain't. The whole movie takes place in one room, but this ain't room. You can't you can't, like, they don't have a strong lead actress to ground that
need
movie.
that. Like, I mean, like think of Castaway, I Am Legend,
Anything.
which is, although it has issues, the performance was great enough to single-handedly carry it. You need, not even to that extent, you need capable at the very minimum.
Look at a movie, a completely different type of movie, but look at a movie like Phone Booth, where you put this on the shoulders of one actor.
That's a
better be good.
Perfect example, because that movie is built on Colin Farrell's reaction to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Colin Farrell's reactions are guiding the audience's reactions. And in horror movies, a lot of times that's the case. The main character's reactions are guiding you. When they are scared, when they're feeling tension, we should be. When they're horrified and shocked, we should be.
A perfect example is, I think his name is Alex Wolff, or is it the other one? Nat? In Hereditary?
Which one is in Hereditary?
Like, we don't see much of anything except the way he's reacting to what's going on around him, and that creates such a tension. It's like, oh my god, what's about to happen?
Yep.
And
or even,
this, it's like, oh,
Yeah. I mean, we could throw out a ton of examples of it done well. The end result is this one unfortunately wasn't.
Yeah. Are we ready to rate this thing then, or is there more you want to talk about?
I don't remember. Let me ask. What was the music like? I guess I didn't even notice it or remember it.
There wasn't a whole bunch. When it does cut in with music, it's like typical Spanish, like mariachi.
That's right.
type.
That's right.
It was like a
now
weird,
I remember it.
yeah.
It was odd feeling.
It was
to
like
me.
happy music.
Yeah, it didn't fit the movie. All right, now I remember. Maybe that's what it was missing, was that eerie music to provide tension. I don't know. But yeah, now that you say that,
You don't even have to.
yeah, that was odd selection of music.
All right, so we're there. Who wants to? Matt, you want to start it off for us? Or?
Sure. Yeah. Good ideas, bad execution, weak actress. 5.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
It is a completely average movie. I wish that they would have picked one idea and stuck with it and fleshed it out, and then you would have like a serviceable movie. But instead, this is like a jumble of ideas that don't go anywhere.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. It bit off more than it could chew, and I agree. Good ideas, and a premise that. And maybe some of this score is because of potential. You know, when a movie does have potential and it just doesn't live up to it, you tend to grade it harsher, I suppose, because it was there. The images of, you know, these specific demons to that culture, even to the Bruja, were very good. I wish it would have explored more of what these demons are and what and how it relates to this culture, and explore more of that culture as it relates to this horror narrative, but it didn't. And ultimately, I think this movie just didn't go anywhere, and it just failed. I guess I'm the same. Even
Ooh.
Yeah, 5. It's a because I don't think it's good enough to even be a C-, and a 5's a D+.
I don't even think it's a 5.
Well, so a 4 is an F, then I don't think it's a complete failure.
Okay, well, let me tell you why it is. And keep in mind though, the number one thing I want in a movie is a character and story that I can buy into, that I can be invested in, that it can go from one place to another, even if it's a crappy story and this character is good enough to keep me invested.
In before you go on though, I'll counter that with, there have been many successful horror movies because horror movies can get by without strong characters, without strong.
And that's where I was gonna go.
Okay.
If it's a movie that does not have that, you better have the tension and the fear and the something that can replace that character arc that's non-existent. There was nothing in this movie. The directing, the cinematography, those were just meh and sometimes not great. The acting from our lead actress was
bad.
It's bad. I mean, I hate to say that about this woman that's trying to make a career out of this, but it was bad.
Yeah, it just was.
And I just the ending for me was horrendous. The way they jumped to like.
See, that was the best part to me. When it kicked into that gear, I was like, all right, we're getting somewhere. She's throwing out
actually started laughing.
Messing up demons.
I did laugh because I'm like, this, like I said, I never in a million guesses would have said that's where we end up.
Oh,
but
I laughed too, but that to me, that was when it was like, all right, now we're all in. We're strapping, in, fellas.
Well, I'm giving it a 3.75 because there were some. I like the setting. I like some scenes. I like the initial idea of where it was headed, but then they just completely abandoned it all. So 3.75 from me.
And then Shane, what did you give it?
5.
Or what are you going to give it?
I gave it a
5.
I gave it a 5.
5 from Matt, 5 from Shane, and 3.75 from Aaron.
Yep.
Okay.
Which is unfortunate. I really wanted this movie to be good.
I think all of you did.
Yeah. This is what happens when you take a shot in the dark. I mean, especially on a horror movie, it could go either way. So,
final score is a 4.59. Sorry, go ahead, Shane.
That's all right. Which is a D. For a movie that looked this good, it just and had the good ideas. To me, this is more a situation of lost potential rather than complete failure.
Yeah.
I think it's both.
Well, fair.
Yeah.
I think, that's where we disagree. It had enough good to not be a complete failure.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do a quick little game of this or that. This or
this ought to be fun.
8 Mile.
Oh,
8 Mile. Easy.
Oh, no.
8 Mile. Easy.
Yeah, I think I go 8 Mile.
I think it might.
8 Mile's got that soundtrack at least.
Yep. This or Magic Mike.
Probably Magic Mike.
Yeah, Magic Mike.
Not gonna lie, I gave that movie a 5.75. That's not a bad movie.
No, it's not.
I wouldn't watch it again willingly.
No, yeah, I agree. I agree. It's not. It's
really not.
It's not the schlock that its premise. And that its premise leads you to believe
that all the trailers.
Yes.
Yes. Exactly. This or Star Wars Episode 3.
That.
Yeah.
Not even
easily that. I had to figure out which Star Wars you were going with.
What's the runtime for Episode 3?
Episode 3 is like 2.
Yeah, way longer.
2:45. Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. This.
By the way, that movie has a 6 from Aaron, a 6.5 from Shane.
And then
a 1 from
Matt. Yeah, and I stand by it.
You can't even give it like a 3 for Ewan McGregor's incredible. How did he not break his back carrying that movie?
Yep. This or Shelley?
Shelley.
What the hell is Shelley?
That's that
the
pregnancy
baby
horror
strangling. That movie sucked, and I'd rather watch it.
I think I must not. I definitely.
I don't think you were on that one.
Yeah, Aaron wasn't on that
Matt,
one.
And Brent, I believe.
This or listener request from Wild Slut Angel 22 at yahoo.com. This or The One?
Oh, God. The one probably, even though that was dumb.
Yeah,
I
think I go
stupid, but yeah, I still like it.
God, all of these are. I mean, it doesn't. These are bad movies.
Yeah, we're in that range.
Yes. One more that we'll do. This or Dreamscape?
Oh, Dreamscape.
Yeah.
Yep.
At least had some original ideas, I guess, and
yeah.
God,
so interesting. Okay, so now in any capacity, in any way, is there a time where you recommend this movie? Aaron, probably no.
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 But you guys rated it like a D, and I mean, like, not that you're recommending it to everybody, but is there like one niche?
I think if your choices are this or Revenge of the Sith, I think you should watch this.
Okay, so there's
if we're getting into either ors, then maybe there's a scenario where I would.
Man, we're stranded on this boat with this DVD player, and we're lost.
And it's
out
a Rob Zombie movie or The Old Ways. I would recommend The Old Ways.
Perfect.
Yeah, no,
Smart.
yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah, there are better exorcism movies out there.
Okay,
and
better 4.59
Hispanic horror movies than this, because that was one of the selling points that a lot of the critics touched on, is that this touches on that culture. There are significantly better cultural horror movies than this one. This just didn't do it.
Like Calibre, it's probably one of them.
Oh my God! Remember when he thought that the word caliber was calibre?
Yeah, the whole movie revolved around a shot from a rifle, and he didn't put two and two together that it was called caliber.
I thought, still do.
Anybody Hispanic?
No, you're right. But Calibre sounds like it would be. First of all, second of all,
Libre.
I thought that caliber was spelled BER.
It's the same as theater.
I mean, I think it's acceptable
either way. Both ways work.
Yeah. So I had valid points.
But people don't say theatre.
No. I do sometimes. I think I'll go to the theatre.
Oh yeah, let's go to the theatre this weekend. We're gonna go see a film, a moving picture movie.
Yeah, they just call it moving pictures, not moving picture movies.
I think I was going to say moving picture reel, and then I just the whole thing. It's not the point. Yeah. All right, so 4.59 for the old ways. Join us online, guys, at moviereviewcrew.com. Request movies right on our homepage. I would greatly appreciate some more requests, because I think it's been a while since we've done listener requests. No?
And we're getting into the time of the year that everybody seems to love.
Yeah, my favorite time of year.
A lot of requests for horror movies during Halloween time.
Maybe we do one more week of regular movies.
Yeah.
Well, let's leave it up to Brent. Maybe Brent will want to pick a horror. Yeah. We won't make him, but after Brent, it's horror movies. Unless Brent
that's my pick.
All right. I like it. I can dig it. Anything else, gentlemen?
That's it.
No. All right. Someone in the show.
Tell your friends.
Hey, guys. Oh, big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later.
Good day, sir. Sir, I said good day.
Yeah. See ya. Hasta la vista, baby.
This has been
the Movie Review Crew podcast. Remember to find us online on your favorite social media apps and go to our website, moviereviewcrew.com.
Yeah. Linger, man. Yeah, totally. Linger. Hardcore.